What is it?
This, Jen, is the internet.
Remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
So does everybody get the meme now? It's the internet. No matter where you go, there you are. Right? Look, man. I don't usually stoop to teasing somebody about their appearance. And I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to point out one thing. Like, alright, look. This shit here, that's just worn down with time. That's because I wear hats anytime I'm outside of the house. I always wear a fucking hat and my head's just like... My shit's just worn down with time. That shit's personal, dude. I don't know what you did to your hair, but that shit is fucking personal. Like, they couldn't even actually go all the fucking way, blah. Like, that is some fucking personal shit. So I'm just pointing that out. You might need to go to couples therapy or something with your hair, because I don't think it's done. But today is the day that we go back to the old school. For one time only. Until the next time comes around where something like this fucking priceless is. Because it's gotta be good. Like, these days, man, I can't just half-ass this shit. It's gotta be good. And this right here is what I like to call good pussy.
As you know, there are Americans who are being evicted from their homes. They can't pay the rent.
Alright. Just through the course of this, as Wolf Blitzer talks, obviously not when Nancy's talking. Nancy just smiles when she talks, which is always how you know somebody is fucking lying to you. But nevertheless, when Wolf is talking and asking her questions, just watch her chew on her fucking face. It's like it's the most thing that any of them do. Like, a lot of them have fucking tics because they're very fucking old. So they have like weird little, things going on with them because they're very fucking old. But Nancy, like, she's always trying to like chew on her, not her lips, the part here right above the chin and the part here right below the nose. She's always trying to chew that. It's fucking weird. I don't know, man. I just
Many Americans are waiting in food lines for the first time in their lives. Can you look them in the eye, Madam Speaker, and explain why you don't want to accept the president's latest stimulus offer?
Now, this is good because I gotta give it to Nancy. She actually answers the question. Like, it's amazing. She actually answers that question. You're gonna fuck. Your mind is gonna be blown.
Well, because, thank you very much, Wolf, and I hope you'll ask the same question of the Republicans about why they don't really want to meet the needs of the American people.
All right, well, right now, we're asking that to you. So, come on.
But let me say to those people, because all of my colleagues, we represent these people. I have for over 30 years represented my constituents. I know what their needs are. I listen to them.
Sweet. Tell us why you won't take the president's proposal. Like, just, we got it. You represent your people. You know them. I know you know them. But we have a question on the floor. Let's address it.
And their needs are not addressed in the president's proposal. So when you say to me, why don't you accept theirs? Why don't they accept ours?
All right, well, that's fair. That is a fair question. And when I have the opportunity to interview one of them, I'll ask that shit. Right now, however, The question is, the fuck is with you?
Our legislation is there to do three things primarily.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's the secondary shit that is nothing to do with COVID. That's like massively part of the problem. And the other massive part of the problem is the primary shit that you're about to fucking outline. There's problems laced all through that shit too. We'll go through them because she does actually, you know, this is really good.
To honor our workers, honor our heroes, our healthcare workers, our police and fire first responders.
No, your ears do not deceive you. She actually praised the police. Wow. And honestly, not the most fucking shocking thing to happen in this interview.
Our teachers, our transportation, sanitation, food workers, the people who make our lives work. We couldn't be doing what we're doing without them. Many of them have risked their lives so that to save lives, and now they will lose their jobs because Mitch McConnell says let the states go bankrupt.
Excuse me for
let
interrupting,
the states go bankrupt.
Madam Speaker, but they really need the money right now, and even members of
I understand
your own,
that, but
even members of your own caucus.
Oh, now you're upset because he's not going to let you answer the. We are a minute 41 into this. You have not answered the question. It took him 10 seconds to ask the fucking question. A minute 30 later, now you're pissed because you. Okay, fine. Let's hear the answer.
Even the members of your own caucus, Madam Speaker, want to accept this deal. $1.8 trillion. Congressman Ro Khanna, for example. But let me just quote Ro Khanna, a man you know well. I assume you admire him. He's a Democrat.
Because if he was a Republican, obviously she would not admire him.
And he just said this. He said, people in need can't wait until February. $1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. Make a deal. Put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position.
Oh, yeah. This again. Like, look, all right. Every time one of these assholes fractures reality again, all right, so now Wolf Blitzer is not only a massive fucking Trump hater, but he is also a defender of Trump. I fucking hate it. Every time one of these assholes fractures reality again, because I have to keep track of it all. They don't fucking bother. They make it up as they go. But I actually have to keep track of all this horse shit? God damn it.
Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do, and nobody's waiting till February.
Yeah, fuck you, you bug-eyed motherfucker.
I want this very much now, because people need help now. But it's no use giving them a false thing just because the president wants to put a check with his name on it in the mail, that we should not be doing all we can to help people pay the rent, put food on the table. Damn it.
And there it is. That's fucking from that bitch's mouth, man. That's exactly what it is. She is wicked pissed that he wants to put another check, a second check, in the hands of the American people that has his fucking name on it. Because we're 2 weeks before the election. So there's no fucking way in hell that shit is happening. Are you out of your goddamn mind? No. So cool.
enhanced benefits, that they don't lose their jobs if they're state and local, we're talking about the consequences of a...
Bitch, you are talking in fucking circles. He asked you a question. Now, 3 different ways. Answer the fucking question.
Pandemic, the symptoms of a problem that the president refuses to address.
But you know,
and that is the coronavirus.
Did you see her get fucking pissed right there? Did you see that shit? And this woman is cracking. Like, her little facade. This shit, man, we're only 3 minutes in this motherfucker. And she's already raised her voice. And, dude, she is not fucking happy about this. And she is not answering the question.
We know
that is
we
the
know
coronavirus.
the problem out there, but there are millions of Americans who have lost their jobs. They can't pay the rent. Their kids need the food.
That's right, and that's what we're trying to get done.
$1.8 trillion, and the president just tweeted, stimulus, go big.
People need money right now, but that's what we're trying to do. No, you're not. No, you're not. No. Oh, I can't wait to get later in this video. It gets so good.
Or go home. He wants even more right now. So why not work out a deal with him, and don't let the perfect, as they say here in Washington, be the enemy of the good.
Well, I will not let the wrong be the enemy of the right.
What's wrong with $1.8 trillion?
You know what? Do you have any idea what the difference is between the spending that they have in their bill and that we have in our bill?
Yeah, I do. I actually understand it quite well. Allow me to explain. Donald Trump wants to give tax cuts to a bunch of wealthy people, businesses and shit. And he wants to give us all a check. I think for another $1,200 again. That's what Trump wants to do. Nancy wants to give tax cuts to, like, everybody. And she wants to get large pools of money with which she just doles it out to companies and states. And the states get to figure out who gets what and what they get. Because she wants state control of it. She wants companies to have control of it, not the people. You, man, you're going to love this shit.
Do you realize that they have come back and said all these things for child tax credits and earned income tax credits for helping people who have lost their jobs are eliminated in their bill? Do you realize they pay no respect to the fact that child care is very important for people whose children cannot go to school because they're doing remote learning, and yet they minimize the need for child care, which is the threshold with which people, mothers and fathers, can go to work if they have that.
Do you understand that cutting everybody a check will fucking fulfill all that shit? Like, childcare costs money. The problem with it is, shit costs money. So they need extra money so that they can go back to work. So what you should do is give them money. And then they can pay the fucking shit with the money, make ends meet until their first paycheck comes in, and then back to life as normal, right? Back to work again. I think that's a pretty fucking great idea.
Do you have any idea of how
that's precisely why, Madam Speaker,
short they're concerned?
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Yang, who says the same thing. It's not everything you want,
but you know what?
There's a lot there.
Fuck Andrew Yang.
Honest to God, you really, I can't get over it, because Andrew Yang, he's lovely. Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They are not negotiating this situation.
Yeah, I love these guys. I support them 100%, but fuck them right in their ass. They ain't doing this shit. I'm doing this shit. Glad you're pointing that out, Nancy. You're up for election this year, aren't you?
They have no idea of the particulars. They have no idea of what the language is here. I didn't come over here to have... So you're the apologist for the Obama... Excuse me. God forbid.
Madam Speaker.
I think this makes either the second or third time that I have featured an interview with Nancy, that I have had Nancy and another host on the show, and Nancy has mistaken. I think this is the second time. Wasn't the last time it was Bush? Did she said it was Bush again? Like she went the way back machine. Now she's just like she's caught up. It's been 4 years, and Nancy has finally caught up the 8-year gap between the last interview that I fucking did of her and this one. Congratulations, Nancy. I'm proud of you.
Thank God for
I'm not an
Barack
apologist.
Obama.
I'm asking you.
Dude, so no shit, right? I'm going to say this too. Thank God for Barack Obama. I was just fucking around, and I was watching videos on YouTube, and somebody was talking about Trump Card, the new Dinesh D'Souza documentary. And I was like, because I really liked Hillary's America. I thought it was really good. It was very educational. I thought it was very good. And so I'm like, well, I want to see that. So I looked for it, and I found it, and I watched it. And I didn't know about this. There was something I didn't know about. And if he wouldn't have shown actual fucking footage, I honestly wouldn't have believed it. But apparently, Obama was in a sex scandal. Like right when he announced his run, there was a sex scandal. I had no fucking clue. How did I not know this? I was following politics a lot back then. Like I was going around asking, why are you voting for Obama? And people would go, oh, because I really like his policies. And I go, which policy do you like? And they would go, you know, like I love his foreign policy. And I'm like, what is his foreign policy? And they'd go, like I was doing that just to people for my own enjoyment. Like at the bar and shit. I was way into politics even back then. And I never heard about this. But apparently, there was a guy who was in Washington, D.C., for whatever, and he was, you know, riding around in a limo, and he had mentioned to the limo driver that maybe he was looking for some company for the night. So the limo driver makes a couple calls, hooks him up with some dude, right? The dude gets into the limo with him. Guy's getting there. You hear him tell the story. So I let him know that I wanted some company. You know, like you can tell. And so, you know, dude gets in. And they're like he's snorting coke, and the other dude, he said the other dude was smoking. He wasn't specific on what. And then he's like, and that was the first time I blew Barack Obama. And I'm like, fucking what? And then he continues, and he's like, yes. And later on in the week, there was a knock at his door at his fucking apartment, and there was Barack Obama would come back for seconds. And this time specifically, he said that Barack Obama, was smoking crack, and that was the second time he blew Barack Obama. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then Dinesh started asking him about, you know, what happened after he went public with it. And, you know, he showed the clip, the press conference of him going public with it. And then he told a story about how there was a guy in Jeremiah Wright's church, the church that Obama went to. And this guy from the church called him and said that he also had a relationship with Obama. And I'm like, what am I listening to? And then he was like, and what happened to that guy? And he goes, shortly after that phone, because during the phone call, he told him that he also, was blowing Obama, I guess. And he said to watch out because people would come after him. And he said, then I said, what happened to that guy? And he said he was shot, point blank. Just shot. And I'm like, because that I remembered hearing about. The mysterious death of this guy from that church that had some sort of connection to Obama that I did not fucking remember that being it, but hey, okay. But, yeah, so that dude was just shot, and apparently they've still not found his killer. And I'm like, I kind of remember that. Like, I remember there was a big thing about some dude in Jeremiah Wright's church that had gotten shot just randomly. And he had, like, he knew Obama. Like, that was the story as I remember it. I don't remember all this, yeah, I blew Obama, but oh my God, I'm like... So if for nothing else, then I got to share with you that story that you can hear from the horse's mouth and make of it what you will. I'm just going to be like, I just can't even believe that story. I didn't fucking hear that shit. I'm like, wow. And to hear it again, I'm just, I was fucking floored. I'm like, what? So, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with Obama being bisexual. I'm fine with that. Whatever. Give a shit. And I think it's a little bit fucked up that, he wasn't more open about it, and like one of his boyfriends got shot mysteriously. Like, I don't know, that's just kind of, I don't know. So, hey, well, whatever. Alright, I guess that shit's in the past. But, yeah, so thank God for Obama that I got to tell you that story, because it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside to give you guys the news.
Serious questions, because so many people are in desperate need right now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When was the last time...
Let me respond to you.
Let me ask you, when was the last time, Madam Speaker, when was the...
Dude, he has asked you like 5 fucking questions and given you a lot of time. We're on 5 minutes now in this interview. He's given you a lot of fucking time. Wolf Blitzer has talked precious little in this interview so far. And you don't answer the questions. So he's trying to word the question in a way that might be something you'd be willing to actually answer. And you're not playing ball.
Last time you spoke with the president about this?
I don't speak to the president. Speak
Why
with
not? Why
his
not
representative.
call him? Why not?
I don't speak to the president. I speak to his people. But you can call, I mean, you are the Speaker of the House, right? Like, you can call the president. You pick up the phone. Like, you pick up the fucking red bet phone or whatever the fuck it is that you assholes all should have in your office, right? And it's a direct line to the president that you're like, hey, don't you? Like, you're the fucking Speaker of the House. Isn't there at least some sort of bet phone in the Speaker of the House's office? You can't call the president personally? I don't know. I think honestly, Nancy, I think if you called the president up, I think he'd fucking answer.
Call him and say, Mr. President, let's work out a deal. It's not going to be everything you want, not going to be everything I want, but there are so many Americans right now who are in desperate need. Let's make a deal.
What makes me amused, if it weren't so sad, is how...
Nancy, you about to explain the sadness of this situation is like the height of irony. Alanis Morissette is pissed off that her song came out before your dumb fucking ass got so popular.
You all think that you know more about the suffering of the American people than those of us who are elected by them to represent them at that table. It is unfortunate that we do not have shared values with this White House.
What have I been saying? We are on the same trajectory as the Middle East. We now have two ideologies in this country that she has just informed you in so many words do not coexist. And she would rather do fucking nothing than even try to make a deal.
And that they have in their bill, why don't you talk about in their bill, a tax break for the wealthiest families in the country while they cut out the earned income tax credit for the poorest families in our country.
Now, obviously, I don't remember tubby white dude sucking Obama's dick. I don't remember that shit. But I do remember, like, a couple of months ago, Donald Trump was saying that he wanted to give another earned income tax break. And the Democrats fucking lost their shit over it and said that was the worst fucking idea. Now you guys jacked that idea. They've taken it out of their bill. You've put it in your bill. And now you're bitching because their bill doesn't have it in it. Fucking shit.
And the poorest children in our country. That we have to fight with them to get them to address the coronavirus crisis because they have said it was a hoax, it was magical, it was a miracle, it was going to cure it. It hasn't.
Nancy, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but there's currently like 5 companies that are mass manufacturing a vaccine for the coronavirus. As we speak. Like, what?
And that's why we find ourselves in this situation. I feel very confident about the knowledge that I bring to this.
Well, I just informed you upon the vaccine production. I don't feel confident in your knowledge of this at all. How in the fuck can you say that with a straight face?
But more importantly, the knowledge that my chairs, our chairs of jurisdiction, science-based, academically documented, institutionally suggested in terms of what the cost would be to do it and to do it that way.
Now, look, I hate these things. I hate when people use these things because I don't understand these things. I don't know what the fuck they come from. I don't fucking care. Like, I don't fucking care. Because whenever people whip one of these things out, I go, oh, just say it in plain English, please. Just dissect the point that I just made. Just tell me what it is. Isn't this one of them fallacy things? Like, isn't that the, what is it, the fucking plea to authority fallacy or whatever the fuck? One of them isn't that one of them fallacies? I don't know. But you guys, one of you guys, I'm sure fucking thinks you know. Tell me if, isn't that one of them fallacy things?
And about, we talk about child care, yes. We talk about safety in the workplace.
Nancy, Wolf's point is that $1,200 buys a lot of child care.
Safety in the workplace, that's a very important issue, especially in the time of the pandemic. So what I say to those people is, we're going to get a deal. And when we do, it will be retroactive. It will be retroactive.
Oh my God. So, the Republicans fought hard to cut that shit down so that we could try and get more people going to work, right? So that the government wouldn't be competing wages against businesses, right? We would like to stop that shit now and everybody go back to work. You want to put it back up to where it was. But not only that, make it as if it was never fucking reduced in the first place?
What you wrote in a letter to House Democrats, Madam Speaker, and I ask these questions only, as you know, so many millions of Americans are suffering
well, you
right
quote
now.
two people who know nothing about the agreement.
Well,
or there is no agreement, but what the suggestions are.
Yeah, exactly. Two people that know nothing about the fucking nothing. But they know a fair amount about what's going on. Because they have eyes with which to see it. And ears with which to hear it.
As if there's some authority on the subject. Please give equal weight to to all of the chairmen on the committee who have written this bill.
But so many of your fellow Democrats in the House, they want a deal right now.
No, that isn't.
The problem solvers, they all want a deal right now.
Yeah.
And here's what they're complaining about, because you wrote a letter to House Democrats and you said this. Let me read a line from the letter you wrote. The president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. Is that what this is all about? Not allow the president to take credit if there's a deal that will help millions of Americans right now?
He's not that important, but let me...
He's the leader of the free fucking world. He's fairly important. But if any of you believe that, if any of you honestly believe that she doesn't fucking care about every American having a check in their hand in the mail that says this $1,200 is to you from Donald J. Trump. Best president ever, right? Mr. President, if you think that it isn't straight up about that 2 weeks before the election, you're out of your fucking gourd.
Say this, with all due respect.
Fuck you, Wolf.
With all due respect, and you know we've known each other a long time.
But fuck you, Wolf.
You really don't know what you're talking about.
You stupid piece of shit.
If the plural of anecdote is not data. Yes, there's some people who said this or...
Whoa. I don't mean to interrupt you, Nancy. But an anecdote is a person's personal story. Right? And a plurality of personal stories is kind of the definition of data. Like Wolf said, I imagine this is a fallacy of some sort or another, but Wolf said that he's getting questions from millions of Americans, which beggars belief, whatever. Wolf says he's getting questions from millions of Americans who are asking him, like millions of Americans, that's data. This is like that plurality of anecdotes. That is actually data. That's actually exactly what it is. So
that overwhelmingly my caucus wants what is right for the American people. Overwhelmingly, our chairman who wrote the bill, read their statements. They all put out their own statements when they saw what the White House was proposing.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Nancy. All you motherfuckers do is bitch, complain, and talk. Wolf's asking you, why don't you do something? We are 8 minutes, 6 seconds in. She has still not answered the question.
So do a service to the issue and have some level of respect for the people who have worked on these issues, written the bill to begin with. Now let me just...
I swear to God, that is one of those fallacies, isn't it?
Say this in terms of the numbers. I want people to do the math. We had 3.4, which would meet the needs of the American people. For a sustained period of time.
For a sustained period of time. We want you on the government tit for as long as we can keep you there. Why? Because then you become dependent on it. Then we own you.
So that there was some certainty in what would happen. The Republicans said no, well, so we took it down $1 trillion by cutting the time. We took it down another $2 billion. So we're now $1.2 billion down.
And all you're doing is dialing back how many years you want this shit to go on. You're not changing what you want to do. The problem isn't entirely the length of time that you want to do it. It's what you want to do. There's a fuck ton of problems with what you want to do.
It came down to 2.2. At the same time, since tomorrow will be 5 months since we passed the bill.
For those of you who study body language, that is called pretty pose. It's a female thing that girls do when they want you to really like them in what they're about to say. It's bullshit, right? Anytime you see guys, I don't know if you entirely want to know this. You may not want to know this. Some of you live in blissful ignorance and don't even know it. You may want to keep it. So weigh heavily before you watch what I'm about to show you again and again, and what I'm about to say and how I'm going to describe it. Because I'm going to do a little body language lesson here. And guys, you might not want to read your wives' minds. So you're running out of time to turn the video off or zoom forward or whatever. Alright. So this shit is called pretty pose. It's a lie. Anytime you see a woman pull her chin in, raise her eyebrows, tilt her head, and talk really sweet, it's called pretty pose. Please believe me. That's what it's saying. So whatever her mouth is saying, understand her body is saying, please believe this hunk of shit. And I'm going to show it to you again. Alright?
Tomorrow will be 5 months since we passed the bill.
You see that shit? Just pull her chin in, tilt her head. It's going to be 5 months since we passed the bill. Right? It's pretty pose. Remember, we passed the bill. They're the ones that are stopping this. Right? It's bullshit.
Tomorrow will be 5 months since we passed the bill.
Remember that shit, guys. Body language is fun. The reason body language is fun is because it is quite literally universal. It is the only shared universal language that all human beings share. If you go talk to people that live in huts in Africa, you will see the same body language expressions that you do anywhere else in the world. Everybody does this shit in one way or another. I mean, there's thousands of little, tics or whatever you want to call them that people do, tells and whatnot and so on. But this one is fairly fucking universal. It's always going to be chin down, head up, tilted, eyes are going to get lifted, and she's going to say something real sweet. And it's going to be horse shit. Christine Blasey Ford is an amazing example of a pretty pose fucking hack. She pretty posed through the fucking entirety of her questioning. Everybody got a pretty pose. That whole thing, I could write a doctoral thesis on the Christine Blasey Ford fucking shit for body language study class. I could absolutely do it. Ugh.
At the same time, because there was no resolution, Mitch McConnell said, let's pause. The virus didn't pause, and now we're at a place where we need more money. We need more money for PPP, for our small businesses. We need more money for our airlines. We need more money for our schools. So we have absorbed nearly $500 billion more of expenses still within the 2.2.
I understand all of that, and I have only the greatest respect.
See, now she's actually starting to answer the question. Did you notice? She wants to give money to companies, airline companies. She wants to give the money to the companies. Now, this is why this is a dumb fuck idea. And we actually have quite recent history, like as in within less than a fucking year, a couple months ago actually, that we can point to and say, this was done before and it was wildly fucked up. How was it wildly fucked up? Well, let me tell you. Massive corporations that have teams of lawyers that sit there with nothing to do until somebody sues them or something comes up for grab that they need a lawyer for, they sit around and wait for shit exactly like this to happen. And then they immediately start talking to their contacts, they immediately start talking to their people, all the people they know in politics and whatever, and they start pulling strings to make sure that their company gets as much of the money as they possibly can. And then smaller businesses that don't have that kind of shit, they actually have to fucking call up and like wait on the phone for hours while they're trying to run their small business. If they can, they're sitting waiting for other people who are on the line right now. And then when it comes around that there's no more money, a lot of small businesses go, I didn't get shit. And a lot of big corporations go, what? And then they start going, what the fuck? Why did you even apply for that? And they go, we got people that do that. I don't know. You got to give that shit back. And then you got a lot of companies that go, fuck you. This happened a couple of months ago, 3-4 months ago. So, you just want to keep doing that dumb shit. That dumb shit don't work. And she wants to give a lot of money to the states so that the states can just do with it whatever the fuck they want. Well, how does that help you? More than a $1,200 check.
Do the math.
Madam Speaker, I have only the greatest respect for you.
We have come down $1.6 trillion.
$1.8 trillion. $1.8 trillion is a lot of money. The American people need that money ASAP because they're suffering right now. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying...
And you don't care how it's spent.
I care, of course, how it's...
And you don't care how it's spent. Donald Trump wants to give everybody tax cuts, which is ultimately, I like to think of it as lost cash, right? I don't know how you guys do your taxes. The way I do my taxes is I let them take a whole bunch of money, and then every April I get money back, right? I kind of use it as I'm gonna need money for this, Really, what I do is I use it to pay off my car insurance. Like I just pay off my car insurance for the year. And then I pay off whatever other bills that I put it on my credit card or whatever the fuck else, right? And I love that. I love being able to do that. And if I get more money in that, that's more money that I can just kind of, recover from Christmas, that kind of shit. Because I buy myself a lot of crap on Christmas. I'll admit, I don't know why. I'm an asshole. Fucking, what are you gonna do? So, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that would be nice. Just a nice tax cut would be nice. If they want to do a tax cut. Now Trump doesn't want to do a tax cut because they hated the tax cut. But I think Trump will put the tax cut back in because he wanted to do the tax cut before you guys hated the tax cut. So, oh wait, I'm sorry, before you guys loved the tax cut. When he loved it, you hated it. Whatever. Anyways, So that would be great. And I think that that's something that you could probably take to the president and say, we'd like to have this on top of your check. And he'd go, oh, it's great. But the check, like, let me break down what do you mean you don't care how it's spent. She wants to give the money to businesses and government people, right? So that they can spend it how they see fit for you. Trump wants to give you money so that you can spend it how you see fit. He's essentially saying, here's $1,200 to help you out while this shit is going on. Spend it wisely. And I think the second time around, a lot of people would probably spend it a hell of a lot more wisely than they spent it the first time around. You know what I mean? I'm still sitting on a lot of it. Excuse me. I'm still sitting on a lot of it. That's why I sound like that. And so, getting more would mean that I could get a lot of work done on my car, because I'm at that like 45,000 mile point, so I need to get a lot of shit done to my car. And it kind of squeals now when I turn, so I gotta get this shit done with my car. But like, I can't really afford it right now, so I gotta see what the fuck my options are. But if I got $1,200 within a couple weeks or two, then that'd be sweet. Then I could get it all done. And that would use a big chunk of it, but nevertheless, I'd probably still have some left over that I could save away for a rainy day. Would that be fantastic? But you're just saying, fuck you, I don't give a shit about your car repairs that you might really fucking need. I just don't know yet. It's only been going on for a week or two. I gotta get it done. But, you know what I mean? Like, you're saying fuck your shit. I don't care how you see fit to use the money. I'm going to give it to the people in your state. They'll figure it out for you. Well, the state doesn't understand that my car squeals when I turn now. The state don't get that. I know that. Well, you all know that now too, but nevertheless. You don't care how it's spent. That's her question to Wolf. So you don't care how it's spent. You're going to let these fucking idiot citizens spend it? Hell no. We're going to give it to the government. We're going to give it to companies. They'll figure out the best way to use it. Can't let these fucking morons have more cash on hand. No. We give that to them in small doses. Just enough to keep them living. Not really thriving. Just living.
But what I
Well,
don't
you don't
understand
even know
is
how it's
why
spent.
not
You don't even
talk
know
to
how
the
it's spent.
president
Yeah, because these fucking idiots are going to do whatever the fuck they want with it.
personally, call him up and say, Mr. President, let's get a deal tomorrow.
Look, let me say this.
She's got a fucking weapon!
The president has sent Mr. Mnuchin to negotiate. That's what we've done with other presidents. This isn't unusual. With President Bush, we did this quite a bit because that's how you negotiate. And then you take it to the president.
But, like, dude, this reminds me... Anybody seen Mad Max Fury Road? This reminds me... I'm doing a lot of Mad Max references. Jesus Christ. This reminds me of the scene where Ace is on the side of the fucking war rig and Furiosa's driving, like, into the fucking storm. And he looks at her and he goes, why can't you stop? Right? Like, it's a silly fucking question. It makes me laugh every time he does it. But it's why can't you? Like, but why can't you're the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the United States of America? Why can't you just call the president? It's not like you're not it's not like it's me. I can't just fucking call the president. You have his phone number. You at least have the fucking office number in the Oval Office. You can just call him, right? Like, you can just do... Can you call his fucking secretary? Can you tell Steve Mnuchin, I'd really like to talk to the president about this. Can you let him know that I would really like to personally contact him about this? Can you get me penciled in on his schedule? I think Steve could get that shit done for you. We're on a first name basis now. He can do that. I imagine if you just ask him, ask good old Steve. He'll get that shit done for you. Like, why can't you stop?
Mr. Mnuchin, I think he has integrity representing his position. May I finish, please?
Holy shit. He just wanted to make the point that he wanted a deal. Like, what? Fuck.
But he has integrity representing his position, but his position has no integrity. They do not share our values.
Two ideologies that cannot coexist. And why can they not coexist? Because she will not negotiate. That is why they cannot exist.
Have a little respect for the fact that we know something about these subjects. And there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans in whether they want to give a big tax cut to the wealthiest people in the country in their bill.
It's a tax cut. Look, all right. See, tax cut. So it's not something that's budgeted into anything. It's just going to be money that they're going to go, holy shit, we got more money this quarter. Fuck yeah. And then they can kind of go, well, you know, now we got a little bit more money, so the money that we usually use our tax, whatever, our tax return on, we can now do this and this and this too. Maybe we can hire a couple extra people. Do you think we could get that other line running? It means we're going to need like 5 more people. And we'll see how much the tax break is. I mean, if it's good enough, get that extra line running, get out some more product, get some more people hired in here. Maybe it's not so fucking grim like it is. You know, that big, like, that's a good idea. I think that would be a conversation going on in companies if they just see more money in their tax return. Or less money that they have to spend at tax time. Like, that's company money. That's, you know, like, these people, that fucking whatever.
In the CARES Act, we tried to take it out in this bill. Instead, they took out earned income tax credit,
which you said you hated months ago.
Child tax credit, expanded health benefits to UI benefits to the extent that it was agreed to before.
Universal income benefits. UI benefits. She actually fucking said UI benefits. UI stands for universal income. No, that's unemployment insurance.
So this is, I have every confidence in what and the arguments that we make because it's based on science and documentation.
I swear to God, man, that is one of those fucking fallacies. I'm just going to act like it's one of those it's a fallacy.
Our chairs know their stuff. They know what they're doing, with all due respect to the kind of people you were referencing. And I welcome their enthusiasm. I welcome their interest.
And especially their votes. Do you know it's an election year?
I welcome their originality of their thinking. But the fact is, we have a responsibility to meet the needs of the American people in a retroactive way, so they're not at a total loss. They are at a loss because the president has ignored the virus.
Fucking shit.
I wish you would spend time on the fact that if he had not ignored the virus, we wouldn't be in the position we're in, but we are. And let me say about that also, I hope that I'm pleased that these pharmaceutical companies are taking the responsible position to halt and hopefully then resume because we want the public to have confidence in whatever therapies or whatever vaccines.
So now they're going to stop shit because we have an election in 2 weeks. We can't have a cure coming out. We can't have a vaccine coming out. We can't have a vaccine coming out before the election. So they have to stop so that we can be confident in what they give us. Fucking cunt.
Come along, that they will take them.
Right.
And to people who say, well, I don't trust Trump on that, if we trust the Food and Drug Administration for what they are doing, the scientists there who've been working 24/7 for months and months and months, excellent science. The science should call the shot, and when they do, we should all trust it.
Okay. Fine. We'll do that. Thank you, Nancy.
And let's hope they get more treatments. Let's hope they get a vaccine. And Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats.
Did you see the fucking look on her face? You respect Ro Khanna and Andrew Yang? Why?
Who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
Well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go
It
into that.
doesn't-
Yeah, fuck them too. They're not doing exactly what I want either.
Yeah,
You
we've gone
evidently
through
do
that.
not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
Now, Fauci.
I respect
And I
all of
wish you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again,
You have displayed zero fucking knowledge here tonight, Nancy. I'm sorry to tell you.
you've been on JAG defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills. And
I think I've adequately explained the difference between the two bills. If I'm wrong in any way, it's because I haven't read either of the bills. I'm just going off of what both sides have been telling me that their bill does. So either I have been lied to by everybody, or I'm fairly close at the very least. So yeah, keep me honest out there.
thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in
All right,
person.
Madam
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to fucking insult your ass in person.
Speaker,
Virtually.
these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for
No,
joining
we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to
All
you.
right.
But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
All right, Nancy. I'm glad you're confident, but people are still starving.
And it's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
And
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them.
who
And we
have trouble
represent them.
getting
And
by.
we represent.
See, no matter how many times you say it, here's a simple fact. The media acts like another branch of our political system. They're supposed to inform us on all the horseshit you guys are fucking doing. And for once, in the past 4 years at the very least, Wolf Blitzer has decided to be a fucking journalist and ask you some tough fucking questions. And you have dodged and danced all the way up until you started answering it. And then, shit got scary.
These long food
And we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just
we
saying,
represent them, and we know them.
as we
We
say,
know them.
Tell me one more time, Nancy.
We represent them.
don't let the
Yes.
perfect be the enemy of the good,
What a fucking ass.
as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker,
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
all right, let's
What in the fuck does that even mean?
see what happens because every day is critically, critically important.
There you go. He actually got her agitated enough that she would start explaining shit. And that's the plan. I hope you enjoyed this hour-long documentary. My battery's about to die. Thank God it was fresh. And yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it.